My next guest has got a huge boxing fight coming up here against Chad Ochocinco Johnson, the former NFL player, on the Mayweather and Paul undercard coming up here on June 6th. It is Brian Maxwell joining me here on the program for the very first time. Brian, how's it going?
I'm pretty good. Just got off work.
Good stuff. What do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking?
I work at a car dealership. I work in the detail department, and I help rust-proof frames and all that kind of good jazz.
Nice. Well, hopefully I'm not getting you in any trouble with the boss here doing the interview, but I do appreciate you taking the time, man. A really big opportunity, like I mentioned off the top. How did this all come together with you getting to box Chad Johnson?
A couple of weeks ago, I was on the way to the BKFC 17 card to corner one of the guys that got signed from tryouts, and I was on the way down there, and I got hit up by a matchmaker. And I told him what I had going on, and he was like, okay, I'll give you a call back later. I was like, all right, that was weird. But, then as I get about 2 hours away from Alabama, because I drove from Virginia, and, I get a message from Ochocinco on Instagram. And I'm like, why is Ochocinco messaging me on Instagram? And, I'm thinking it was a spam or something, and I blew it off for a second because I like I said, I thought it was a scam. So I was like, this is really not really Chad Johnson. And he's like, yes, it is. Why would I play like that? And, a few minutes later, he sent me a video of him at his daughter's track meet and to prove it was him. And it was really him. And I'm like, oh, snap, this really is Chad Johnson. And, he's like, I need your help. Call me. And by that time, after that last message I had, I had already got settled in with the fights, and it was, time for the show to start. So I got busy with the fight. So I didn't, think nothing of it for the rest of the night. And, as the night went on, the fights went on, and, BKFC 17 was an awesome fight card. I wish that I would have got the fight on, but, that's a different story for a different day. But, the next day, before I left from Birmingham, I went to Spartan MMA down there and trained that morning for a little while before I left, because I needed to get my training in for the day. And, I didn't want to not get my training in, and I had a 7-hour drive back. So on the drive back, Chad messages me his number again, and I freaked out again. I'm like, oh, man, he sent me his number. I think this number is fake. So I didn't call it yet, so I blew it off for the rest of the day, but I was thinking about it. So that Monday, the Monday after that, I'm here at work and I'm working, and, I just happen to go outside, and, the person who handles all my contracts and, reads the fine print is walking towards me, and she's like, I got some news. And I was like, instantly freaking out. First person I thought about was, is my mom okay? Something wrong with my son?
Right, yeah.
Is something wrong? What's going on? And, she was like, no, it's none of that. So I just got a phone call and I have a big opportunity. I was like, what? And she was like, well, you know why Chad Johnson has been messaging you? I was like, why? She's like, well, we have an opportunity to fight him. And I was like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? She's like, no. And I'm sitting there freaking out. And I was like, let me go ahead and call Nate and see if it's true. And she's like, Nate's the one call me. So I called Nate, and, him and Mr. Feldman set this up for me. And, I accepted it, and I was like, this is a bit. Didn't want to go into, if I didn't take this opportunity, I will regret it later on down the road.
Absolutely.
But I said yes to the fight, and now we're here.
So it was kind of a combination of BKFC and this promotion kind of working together to get you, because I was wondering, like, why would he pick you specifically? But I'm guessing, was it a case where they just reached out to the promotion and they're kind of like, hey, we need someone, and I guess your name came up? Did you ever figure out why Chad wanted to fight you specifically?
I'm still trying to figure out how my name came up into this. Like, I've had several conversations with Chad on the phone. He's called me and we texted each other and stuff like that. We had a conversation, and he's like, my name came up through Jorge Masvidal and someone else. And I was like, what? Really? How did they know me? I was freaked out by that. I was like, how do they know my name? And, of course I fight for bare knuckle, and, I have some of a decent following through bare knuckle. And, I feel like I got some star power with bare knuckle. And, so I was very grateful that they chose me. I'm still trying to figure out how they chose me, but like I said, I accepted the fight, and we're here, and I get to fight my idol.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to, I mean, it's not just like any regular or NFL player. It's, obviously a pretty notable one. So that's kind of cool, just the, being able to fight him as well. Is there any part of you, though, I got to wonder, I know there's been a lot of effort to make this happen, but we have seen, celebrities, I'll put them in that category, not show up to fight time. Has that crossed your mind at all that this might not happen?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's happening. All contracts and everything have been signed, and, everybody's training, and, it's going to happen. And, I've told everybody else I've been in fight camp for like 10 weeks now because I thought I had a fight before, and I'm ready for this fight. Like if the fight was happening tomorrow, I'm ready for it. And like I've said, Chad is one of my idols, and I followed his career since I was in middle school, and I know that he has boxing training, well, boxing conditioning to stay in shape in the off season for football. But, like I said, I'm a fighter, and this is what I do. And, him being on the other side of the ring from me, even though he's an all-world athlete, we're going to have to fight.
Yeah, and it's you've got a lot of combat sports experience. I know you've been, I think, fighting since MMA anyway, since 2011, and I know you've done obviously bare knuckle, like you mentioned there. You've done some boxing. How did you get into MMA? I was curious about that. Like, what got you on this path?
Of course, I've wrestled since I was 13 years old, and I wrestled all the way to college at West Virginia Institute of Technology. Go Golden Bears! But I was chilling with my roommates on a Friday night, and UFC fights happened to be on, and I've never watched a UFC event prior to that ever, so I didn't really know what it was. And when they had turned the channel, Anderson Silva had to happen to be fighting. He was the main event. And so I was like, man, I like this dude's style and his charisma and how he fights. So that's going to be my favorite fighter off rip. And, after that, it sparked my interest in if I could do it. But, like I said, I went through college, and, I dabbled in life 2 years after college. And, I found out I had a son on the way, and I was like, maybe I should give this MMA thing a try to do something with myself, so my son can have someone to look up to. And I just happened to be on the internet, and there's this promotion called Ruckus in the Cage that was popular in my area before I even started fighting, and they had fights coming up. So I was like, let me sign up for it to see if it would happen. And, I signed up for it and sat back and waited. And, within a couple hours, the promoter called and offered me a guy that was 2-0. And I was like, I said yes immediately. I think I shocked him because I didn't think he didn't think I would accept. And I come from a wrestling background. It doesn't matter who you are, what your record is, or none of that. And, you're going to have to wrestle. So, this being my first fight, I didn't care who it was. I just wanted to try it out and do it. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Okay.
And,
so
now we're here.
Yeah, and in terms of preparing for this fight, I guess you kind of just have to focus on what you're good at, because there's really no like tape or anything. I mean, I'm sure you could scan social media and maybe get some tips there, but like, how do you prepare for a Chad Johnson?
I mean, I've seen some training videos and whatnot, and the way that I'm preparing, like I said, I've been in fight camp for 10 weeks now, so I was preparing for a bare knuckle fight anyways, and I do a lot of boxing training anyways to get ready for my bare knuckle fights. And so nothing really changed, honestly. And we're going in with a specific game plan, and it's going to be a fight.
What does it mean to be on an undercard of a Floyd Mayweather event? Like, that's pretty cool too, right? That's the other part of this.
Man, it's overwhelming. Like it's already hit me, so I'm like I said, it's the calm before the storm right now. I'm chilling and trying to answer all the messages and notifications that I've gotten the past 4 days. And, Floyd is the best boxer in the world, period, that there's ever been of all time. And, fighting on his card is truly amazing. Like, I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah. No, it's cool. That's one of the best combat sports athletes ever. You said best boxer. I'm with you there as well. I think he's one of the best. Training camp, who are you getting to work with? Who are some of your main training partners ahead of this fight?
Yeah, I'm training at a boxing gym. I mean, there's boxing in my gym too, so I train with the regular guys that I've been boxing with since they came into our gym over a year and a half ago. year and some change ago, and I've been working with those guys, and it's helped me out tremendously. But I also train at Powerhouse Boxing Gym, located about an hour away from where I'm from, and I travel to other gyms also to get different fields of different bodies. So if I get one of those types of fighters out of whoever I'm fighting, I've been there, and you know the tone is set, and I will adapt.
How do you expect this fight to play out on June 6th? Obviously, feel like you're going to win, but how do you envision the fight going down?
I feel like it's I don't know what to think at the moment. I know that I'm going to win this fight regardless. Even though it's an exhibition fight and it really doesn't count for shit, but I'm a fighter, and I come to win.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. And then I imagine the plan after this is to go back to bare knuckle fighting. Like, what do you have on the horizon after this matchup? Or do you just see how this fight goes and maybe there'll be other opportunities? Maybe you'll get another wide receiver or someone else to fight.
I mean, after this, hopefully my next fight after this is a bare knuckle fight. But after I win against Chad, I know the bigger opportunities are going to come, and I'm ready for whatever comes for it, whether it's good or bad afterwards. I know I'm living in the moment. This is a big opportunity for me, and I'm going to capitalize it, and I'm going to enjoy it and ride the wave.
And with Logan Paul being on the card, or maybe get the word out to those YouTubers. Hey, if they want any of this, you could fight them as well. Is that something you've thought of as well? Maybe boxing some of these YouTube guys.
No, I was thinking about boxing a YouTuber when I think it was Logan Paul and KSI fought, and KSI was interested in coming to bare knuckle, and I seen that immediately, and I was like, I want to fight him. So me being a fighter, I'll fight anybody, honestly. Just give me the time to prepare for it. And yeah, he's one of the YouTubers I would love to fight. But if it came down to it, I'll fight any of the YouTubers if they want the heat.
Brian, thanks so much for doing this, man. I'm really looking forward to this fight. It's June 6th. Mayweather, Paul. Anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors? Any social media? I'll give you the last word.
I want to thank my newest sponsors. I got a lot of sponsors, but I'm going to thank my newest sponsors so far. Haley Toyota, North Carolina, Empire. I just added them to the team. I just added a sponsor called Moon Juice and cryptocurrency. We've been talking for a day or two, and I just added them to the team. And my next biggest sponsor, Fusion CBD. I've been using their products ever since they came into the bare knuckle scene, and man, getting a sponsorship from them is a big, big, big blessing, and I'm finally happy that they brought me a part of their team. And all my other sponsors: Queen Anne's Revenge, Battle Ready CBD, Says Oils, the Hockey House, and I got some other new ones. I got them written down on the list, but I don't got my list with me. But shout out to my sponsors. Thank you to the new sponsors. Thank you to my teammates and my family for riding this journey and riding this wave with me.